What is up, guys? Son of Canadian Rider. Today I'm going to be showing you how to transform your headlights from this to this in just a few simple steps. So you guys know I have my Lexus IS350 and my Lexus IS250, both really high kilometers, and they're older. You probably have an older car and that's why you're watching this video, and this is what's happened, right? The headlight's oxidated, it's yellowed, it doesn't look really good anymore. It really actually ages the car more than it would normally, right? It really makes it look a lot older. So what we're gonna do, and really all this oxidation and the steps that I'm gonna show you today, it's gonna go ahead and remove all that. It's gonna make it like brand new again, and we're gonna protect it with a coating that's gonna make sure it doesn't happen again. This is especially bad on these Lexus cars that I have, but it happens to everybody's car. So these steps are gonna be simple, easy. You can do this at home. I'm gonna be linking everything in the description box down below. So any of the products that you see today, which I'm gonna be showing you over to my left, is gonna be easily accessible for you to buy. I've been doing this for 10 years now at this point, professionally detailing. Now I do it as a hobby on the side. So I've done this a lot, and I know kind of the tips and tricks on how to show you how to do this the easiest and best way. And the first thing is having the right set of tools at your disposal. So as I go through the process, I'm gonna be showing you everything that you need, including the compound that you need, the polish, the Porter Cable dual action polisher. You're gonna need a compounding pad, a white Lake Country polishing pad. You're gonna need sandpaper. You're gonna need the grits of sandpaper of 3000 grit, 2000 grit, 1500 grit, and 1000 grit. So you're gonna need all that sandpaper as well, and then some painter's tape, which you're gonna see me go ahead and wrap around here on this headlight. And then finally, wear some gloves. I actually suffer from eczema, so it's especially bad. You're dealing with lots of chemicals, sandpaper, it's all abrasive. Just wear some gloves, latex gloves like this. This is gonna help you out a lot. So we're gonna get started, and the first thing we really wanna do is make sure we protect the paint on all sides of the headlight. We're gonna be using sandpaper again, and sandpaper is really abrasive, and we don't want that to be come in contact with our paint. So we're gonna go ahead and tape this and make sure that we are covering all edges of the paint. Very, very important. Take your time doing this. This is so critical. Make sure you do it right the first time so this doesn't come back to bite you. Great. Okay, so now you can see the light is completely masked around the paint. I'm just gonna go around the edges to seal it again, and we are good. So now that you have everything masked appropriately, what we wanna do is start prepping the sandpaper. So I have a little bowl of warm water here. I have some Mother's car wash soap. I'm just gonna go ahead and just put a tiny bit of soap in here, just a little bit. Great, that's good. And I've already put soap in my sprayer. So what you're gonna need to do is get a sprayer, put some soap and water into it, some warm water, and you're gonna add a little bit of soap and some warm water here. And the reason why we're gonna do this is we're gonna go ahead and get the sandpaper ready for wet sanding. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all my grits of sandpaper inside of this solution and stir it, and we're gonna let it sit here for about 10 minutes or so. So this is my 3000 grit, which I'm gonna, stir. It's okay, let it get a little wet, that's fine. You wanna stir it, stir in the soap. Okay, great. And now I'm just gonna let that go in there, and it's gonna sit. That's my 3000 grit. This is my 2000 grit sandpaper. So this is that 3M sandpaper that you're gonna get. This is the Wetordry Sandpaper from 3M. I highly recommend this. Again, everything will be in the description box down below. I'm gonna put that in there as well. Let that soak in. Then we have the 1500 grit sandpaper here. So 1500 grit, that's gonna go into, and again, look how I've cut these. They're not super big, just big enough. And then this is the 1000 grit sandpaper, which are gonna pop in there. So this is just gonna sit there. We're gonna let that sit for 10 minutes, and we're gonna be done with the soap. And we have our soap and water solution in here as well. All right, so this is great. What we're gonna start to do first is we're gonna take our 1000 grit. So this is the 1000 grit sandpaper here. As you can see, it's been sitting there for about 10 minutes. And what we're gonna start to do is we're gonna take that water and soap solution, and we're gonna be spraying the entire headlight. We wanna get it nice and wet, okay? Just like that. Now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be taking the sandpaper, getting it wet again, and we're gonna go in horizontal lines, back and forth. I'm gonna come here on the side. Use your hand like this. Horizontal lines back and forth with the 1000 grit. The 1000 grit is the strongest sandpaper of all the sandpaper that I mentioned today. It goes, the lower the number, the more rough it is and the stronger it is. And the 3000 grit is the least. I'm not putting too much pressure on here. I'm just bringing it up and down, up and down. I'm gonna fold it a little bit here to get into this edge here. Great. And we're going in horizontal motions only for this step. Gonna put more, get it nice and lubricated. You want to make sure that it's really wet at all times with the soap solution, and you're going on a horizontal level, and you're getting all that gunk, all that grime off of the lens, and you're leveling the lens off. Now, you could use a sanding block. If you have a sanding block and you want to use a sanding block, go ahead. But to be honest with you, I find it actually easier to do it like this in a way. And if you don't have a sanding block, you know, it's not that big of a deal because you can just do it by hand. And again, I'm just doing it horizontally. And you want to get uniform coverage. You want to make sure it's nice and uniform. Okay, so get the edge, get nice uniform coverage. Spray this down a little bit more. I'm gonna switch sides on this. Great, uniform coverage. Okay, great. Now once this is done, this is your first 1000 grit. I'm just gonna spray it down again because a lot of the gunk has built up on the headlight. Spray it down, and I'm gonna go get my microfiber towel. We're gonna wipe this. I'm gonna clean this off, get it nice and dry again. And what you should see, it should be very hazy, and you should see the horizontal lines, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're gonna see right now. So you see that, it looks really hazy, it looks like it's completely scuffed up, and probably right now, you're a little bit freaking out. You're like, oh my God, my headlight, what have I done to it? It looks really foggy, but this is actually really good. This is what you want. You want to make sure that first step looks like that. So what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to take our 1500 grit. So this is now our 1500 grit sandpaper. And we're going to go on a vertical motion up and down. So I'm going to re-wet the headlight, get it nice and wet again. And we're going to go vertically. We're going to go up and down vertically with the 1500 grit sandpaper. So I got it in my hands like this. Up and down. And the reason why we're doing this, I'm going to explain why, is because if you think about it, the horizontal lines kind of made the grooves horizontally. Now we want to level it out and make everything even by putting grooves vertically. So it's going to even everything out on the sanding marks on this. But it's important that you get uniform, even coverage, right? So again, make sure you get to the edges on this headlight. Make sure you're doing good motions on this headlight, putting even pressure on the sandpaper and making sure that it continues to stay wet. Your sandpaper and the lens, make sure it's wet. Use two hands if you need to, like this, right? Get nice, even coverage with the sandpaper. And again, I'm not afraid to be coming up to the edges because I've taped everything off properly. The painter's tape is protecting my finish from being scratched up. But yes, this is an example. This is what may happen to your paint if it got scratched up, which you can fix after, but why even bother? Just do this properly, do a good taping job. Now you have your 1500 grit taking away the sanding marks of the 1000 grit. Okay, and we're good. So that's our 1500 grit. I'm gonna, once again, clean it up by spraying it down, getting all that gunk off. I'm gonna take our microfiber again, and we're gonna wipe it down. So I'm gonna pull you guys in just a little closer so you can see the hazing. You see that? That's what it's supposed to look like. It's really hazed up. You're seeing that there. That's really solid. Now, I do see something that I'm gonna go ahead back and fix, right? And this is why you should always examine it. I see less hazing up here, which means I probably didn't get up here as much as I should. So I'm gonna come back here, that's fine. And I'm gonna sand this. Make sure I get to that edge, right? Make sure you get to that edge. Great. Perfect. Looks great. Now, the next stage, we have our 2000 grit. So this is really going to now start removing the major parts of damage on the headlight. And what I'm gonna do here is the first time we went horizontally, the second time we went vertically, the last two stages, we're gonna go circular. We're gonna go circular motions, and this is gonna even out any of the additional lines that may have not got caught between the first two passes. And it's gonna make sure that we get full, even, uniform sanding across the headlight. At this point, you should also notice that there probably isn't as much gunk coming off the headlight. And listen, quite honestly, this headlight wasn't even that bad. Like, I've seen headlights that were much worse than this, and this is gonna make sure, I promise you, these steps, regardless how bad your headlight is, it's going to completely refine it and refinish it and make it look like new. So again, here, you just wanna put even pressure, hand pressure, using your hands. I have my 2000 grit, and we're just working this, right? But are you noticing that the headlight is actually becoming clearer? You know, after that first 1000 grit, I know it looks kind of freaky to see that it's completely destroyed, but that's completely normal. That's just, you know, that's just the sanding marks from such an aggressive sandpaper, and that's completely fine. All right, so this is now done with the 2000 grit. We're gonna again wash it. And we're gonna wipe it. It's probably good to have two microfibers handy. So actually, this microfiber is getting a little bit too wet. So I'm gonna transition over to my next one, and that's much drier. Now you should still see the haze coming, and you should see all the sanding marks, which is completely normal. So you'll see all that here. Now, our 3000 grit. This really is not aggressive at all. It's really just a refining sandpaper. This is kind of, I guess you could do it optionally, but I like doing it anyway. And this is gonna be, you'll notice that this is actually a soft kind of foam. You're just gonna go ahead, swirling again, circular motion. Make sure you cover everything. Decent pressure on this sandpaper, a little bit more than I think the first couple steps. And you're just gonna get everything covered with the sandpaper. And this is gonna, again, just refine that finish before we go ahead to really bring out the shine on this headlight. I'm so excited. Wait till you guys see what's gonna happen now. This has really set us up where the majority of the defects, the majority of the damage, the oxidation, the scratches, what have you, are all gone at this point. And that's in regards to, you know, the sanding doing all that work for us. And I like this 3000 because it keeps a lot of the water inside of the foam. So you can see we're doing a great job here. Perfect. So we're done with that. I'm gonna put that 3000 away. We're gonna spray this out. Get it cleaned up. This is important now, actually, because we're done with the sanding step and we wanna make sure it's nice and clean, and we're gonna wipe this and make sure that it's completely dry now. So really, this is like, let's get it nice and dry. Let's see what the finish looks like before our next major step. So you can see, it's definitely a lot clearer than what it used to be, right? You still see it though, it's very hazy, and that's perfectly normal. And you do see some, you know, you'll see some streaking, some lines, and that's perfectly fine. You can see it's kind of going away with my fingertip, and that's perfectly fine. Now, the next stage is where we're actually gonna use the Porter Cable dual action polisher on this headlight to really bring out that finish and that look and that shine back. This is the Porter Cable dual action polisher. This is really the best kind of at-home DIY polisher you can get. Really great. I've been using this for almost 10 years now. And with the Lake Country foam cutting or correction pad. Now you can get a different one. Again, these are going to be linked in the description box down below, but this is going to allow us to properly machine polish this and really bring out that shine again. These are great. Again, I've been using them for so long. Couldn't more highly recommend two products right here between these two. Now, I am going to be using a new product on this. A new product that I used in a previous video, thank you to Turtle Wax, is their new one and done compound. This is a really spectacular, actually, an early testing compound where we've used it to remove some deep scratches on this Lexus IS250. And, you know, technically this is a one-step compound and polish. I'm gonna show you an optional step where we go ahead and use another polish coming up to really refine the headlight look. But we're gonna use this. I'm gonna open it up. And really, again, this is such a small area that we're working on. You don't need much, okay? So just 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4. That's all you need. That's all you need for this headlamp at this size. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on here. We're gonna smear it. Now, I want you to see the speed at which I'm doing this, at which I'm bringing it on. As well, I'm gonna be doing 6 passes. The first few passes, the first 3 passes are gonna be done at setting 5. Then the final 3 passes is gonna be done at setting 6, and that's the highest setting on this machine. So we're gonna start with setting 5. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna start polishing this, prepare for some magic. Wow. Look at that. Look at the difference. Look what's happened to the headlight. I'm gonna be getting another microfiber towel, a nice dry one here to wipe this off. But look at that. Look at this finish. Look at how we've transformed the headlight. Look at all the shine that's come back to the headlight. This is amazing, and we're not even done. This is just that first compound step to go ahead and remove the majority of the defects. And look at that. That is incredible. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Don't get too excited, but look at the difference already. This is truly remarkable that it can be done like this and really brings out the headlight. And you're saving a lot of money. If you need to go buy another headlight, it could be hundreds of dollars. You've gone ahead and restored this headlight. And now not only does it look a lot better on the car, but it's also gonna actually provide better vision on the road at nighttime. But we're not done yet. That's amazing that the compound's done such a great job there. The next step is we're gonna be refining it with a Porter Cable polisher again, but with the Lake Country 3-inch polishing pad. This is gonna really bring out the shine to an additional degree. And what we're gonna do is gonna put this on the backing here. And what polish I love to use, I've been using this polish for a long time, and you can find this over the counter at many stores. This is the Meguiars Ultimate Polish. Really great polish. I've been using this for a long time on many cars and motorcycles. I really like this one. And again, the same thing applies, just a little bit on the pad. That's it. That's really all you need. We're gonna come back on here. Spread it around. And this time, we're only gonna stick to setting 5, okay? And you're gonna notice as well, I'm gonna go at a faster pace, not as hard on pressure and not as quick. Wow, just incredible. We're giving it another buff off, and this has really gone ahead and just amplified the shine, really make that clarity, really boost the clarity of the headlight. Now let's go ahead, and now we can start removing the painter's tape. Let's remove the painter's tape from around the headlight. And again, by the way, when you were polishing it, and if painter's tape's coming up a little bit during the polishing process, that's not too much of a big deal. The big deal was making sure that we're protecting it from the sandpaper. Now let me just give this entire headlight a wipe. Look at the results. This is, this is incredible. Give this headlight, give the surrounding area a wipe down here. Just wow, look at the difference. That is just huge. It really does look like a new headlight. All right, so don't get too excited. It looks very beautiful, but now is the really critical, important step. We're gonna need to go ahead and ceramic coat this. I have this from Armor Shield. This is their ceramic coating. Thank you to them for providing me with this. We're gonna be using this on this headlight, but you guys seen, we just put a lot of polishes, compounds, all this stuff. In order for the ceramic coating to actually adhere properly to this headlamp, we're gonna need to put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. You can use any type of IPA solution. I have here 99%. That's gonna be fine. I'm gonna put a little bit on a clean microfiber. Just a little bit is fine. I'm just gonna wipe this down, right? We just wanna make sure this is completely clear of any oils or other compounds or any polish. Just get around it completely. I would even go up to the edges here. And this is just gonna provide that really clean, perfect finish for us to go ahead and apply the sealant or the ceramic in this case. Now you can, if you're gonna ask me, you know, Canadian Rider, can I apply just a sealant or a wax? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can, absolutely. And it's gonna cover and protect it. But the point is that if you don't consistently do that on this headlamp, it's gonna continue to oxidize. So let's say your sealant lasts for 6 months and it's done, then the oxidation is gonna begin and you're gonna be left back, you know, with really ugly looking headlights. So we've gone ahead, that's done there. We're gonna go now and apply this ceramic, which is, you know, rated to last up to 2 years. And again, you guys seen my Optimum Gloss Coat in the Audi R8, that's lasted 3 years now. That's 3 years of protection. I applied that myself in my garage. That's amazing. A lot of times I used to be, you know, applying waxes every 3 to 6 months. I like doing it, but you know, as I get older, I have less time to do that stuff. So I really do appreciate a ceramic. So in this case here, this is Armor Shield, and they've sent me this. So again, big thank you to them on this. So I'm actually going to remove my gloves for this. I need that extra dexterity when we're applying this. What we're gonna do is, they're gonna provide you with a block, a soft foam block like this. You're gonna take the soft foam block, you're gonna go ahead and take one of the supplied microfiber cloths. You're gonna wrap it around this block as like such. And this is where we're gonna be applying the actual drops of ceramic coating. And then we're gonna be applying it here. So I have this, we're gonna shake this bottle, highly recommend it, it's been sitting here for a while. Shake this bottle up, we're gonna open up the bottle. And I recommend, usually they recommend actually, you know, 10 to 12 drops if you're doing a large panel on a car, maybe half of the hood or something. But in this case, for this headlamp, it's actually not quite that big. So we're gonna go ahead and put about 6 drops on this. So I'm just gonna put it evenly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna see how that works. You should be able to see it come like a thin layer over it. I'm gonna bring in the camera closer so you can see how this looks. So we have the ceramic coating put on this. You can see it, it's wet. And all we're gonna do is apply it kind of similar to what we did with the compound. We're gonna give it a horizontal pass and then a vertical pass. And you're gonna notice it very lightly getting applied onto the headlamp. And see, it's already smearing across the headlamp in a really easy way. It's like, it's really spreads really good. It spreads really good. It's going on there great. And we're gonna go up and down, just like this. The point of this is we want full coverage. Go completely up and down on the headlamp. You wanna get full coverage on this and get right up to the edge of where you want it to be protected. And that's that. So once this is done, and that looks good, and you can see it, the ceramic actually spread evenly on the microfiber, and it's spread evenly here. You're just gonna notice a slight shifting. You're gonna see a slight hue, and you're gonna know it's gonna start flashing. And right now, it's gonna take about, on the temperature that we have today, which is about, we're at 10 degrees Celsius, it's gonna take about 5 minutes to go ahead and flash and completely dry. Once it flashes and completely dries in about 5 minutes, we're gonna go ahead with a microfiber and just buff it off, and then we're done. So that's how you transform your Foggy headlights. I think these turned out absolutely spectacular. All you have to do is, again, follow those steps. I'm gonna link everything in the description box down below. I hope this video was helpful. Not only is it gonna transform the look of your car and make it look much newer, it's also gonna help in actual nighttime riding or nighttime driving situations. You're gonna be able to see the road much clearer because the lights are not gonna have so much gunk to actually pass through. So I hope you thought it was helpful. Give this video a like if you did, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. I do tons of detailing videos, cars, motorcycles, everything. If you want to follow along, make sure you subscribe. Over 25,000 subscribers, so I'm really thankful again. But yeah, now it's fully protected. It's not gonna fog up anymore. I'm really happy, and now the Lexus looks like it's in mint condition. We're gonna be doing more to it, 325,000 kilometers on this. We're doing a full paint correction, really gonna make this thing look like it's brand new. So I'm excited for that, and I'll catch you guys in that next video.